Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Sperato. So I've been looking for a competitive deck that I really vibe with, and Dragunity was just that pick. I've been really enjoying this deck. I think it's extremely powerful and underrated. It took a while to figure out and build and get the correct ratios and everything, but I really think I've done it this time. If you're unfamiliar with the archetype, it's basically a higher ceiling version of Dragonlink. The end boards are much more impactful at the cost of pretty much turboing out all of your resources in one turn, so the grind game is a little bit lackluster. It's a little bit more complicated to play and a tiny bit more fragile, but if you build the deck correctly and you know what you're doing, this is way more explosive than Dragonlink. Before we get started, a friendly reminder to leave a like if you end up enjoying the video, and consider subscribing. I really want to hit 500 subscribers so I can make community posts on the channel. It would be a huge help. Anyways, let's get into the profile. To start things off, we got three of the best starter in the entire deck. 3 copies of Dragunity Remus. I love this little guy. He is insane. Basically, you discard him to search Dragon's Ravine, and Dragon's Ravine is what your entire deck is just based around off of. Basically, if you get a Dragon's Ravine on the field, you're basically going to win the duel. That's a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but you get the point. You need to see Dragon's Ravine to succeed with this deck. So Remus gets you to that, but also it's an extender in Graveyard. If you control a Dragunity on the field, you can special summon it from the grave and banish it when it leaves the field. It's a level 2 Dragon Tuner as well, so it gets you into all your Dragunity Knights. So having 3 copies of extra Ravines that also have an extension built in, like, this card is absolutely insane. You want to play 3 for sure. For the rest of the Dragunity tuners, I'm playing double copies of Phalanx and double copies of Kus. I know this might seem like taboo to some Dragunity players, but hear me out. These cards do absolutely nothing on their own, and you just want 2 just in case something happens to the 1. Yes, it's good to hard draw any of these, but that doesn't mean you want to see multiples in your hand. They just don't do enough on their own to warrant playing a ton of copies. They're searchable, they're easy to get in the grave, and if you draw it, nice, you can extend a little bit, but you don't want to clog your hand full of vanillas, essentially. But basically, if you don't know what these guys do, when they're in the spell and trap zone as equipped monsters, you special summon them non-hard once per turn, so you can keep summoning them out to the field and loop them. Phalanx is a level 2 tuner that you can use for any monster. Kus is a level 2 or a level 4 tuner, depending on what you want, but you can only go into Dragunity Synchro monsters with this card. For the big main deck dragons, I play 1 Arma Mistletoe, 1 Arma Leviathan, and 1 Arma Gram. So Mistletoe is a really broken, non-hard once per turn special summon from your hand as long as you have a Dragunity on the field. Why do I only play 1 copy of it? Well, it's because we're going to be playing 3 copies of Glow, which searches for it, and you don't want to brick on a bunch of Mistletoe, especially since it's such a specific interaction. You need to have a Dragunity on the field. A lot of your extra deck monsters aren't Dragunity monsters. There's a huge choke point in the deck where you have the Heraldic Xyz and nothing else, and having this in your hand would literally not help you. Getting the Bureau, it doesn't help you. I just don't really see the reason for running more than 1. Now, for the people who say, well, you need 2 for the combo, that's not true anymore because we don't have LP. You don't need 2 in a combo. And secondly, another reason is, oh, it's awkward if you draw the 1 and then you want to search Glow. No, it's not, because if this is in the graveyard, you can add it back with Glow. You don't have to search with Glow. You can just add it back from grave, kind of like into your servant. So there's just no reason to run more than 1 Mistletoe, in my honest opinion. If there's something that I was missing from that, let me know in the comments below, but in testing, 1 has just been perfect. Leviathan is a little bit more of a specific extender. You banish a monster that's equipped with a Dragunity, you special summon it, then you equip any dragon in grave. This is how you buster lock your opponent, but it's also how you extend as well. And then the 1 Armagram is just for the grind game, having a main deck boss monster, because he special summons himself like Tempest every single turn, and he can target something, negate it permanently, and even lower their attack if he has equipped spells. And then when you destroy a monster by battle, you can equip it onto Armagram instead of having it get sent to the graveyard, which is honestly why this deck has an amazing Eldritch matchup. You can just keep stealing their Golden Lords and they're like, well, shit, I can't play the game anymore. But yeah, basically it's just a main deck boss monster. It's your grind game. I almost want to put a second one, but it is a hard once per turn, so maybe not the smartest idea. But yeah, these 3 are absolutely essential to the deck. You want to run 1 of each for sure. Onto the winged beasts of the deck, I play 3 copies of Dragunity Senatus. This is probably the second best play starter. Remus is the best, and this one's definitely the second best. I guess technically Ravine is the second best, but Senatus is definitely up there. He pretty much gets you full combo but you do have to have a Dragunity tuner in hand to have full combo with him. But you discard a Dragunity card and then you equip a Dragunity tuner. So if you discard a tuner, you can just add the second tuner and then you have full combo. You'll always have full combo if you have both tuners in the grave, basically. But yeah, this guy is just, if your Ravine and whatnot doesn't resolve and nothing's working out, you can just normal summon him and then Ooga Booga go into full combo. Really, really solid card. We also play one copy of Dux. This is part of the big combo because you won't always have a card to discard with Senatus, but you will have the Dragunity tuners in grave. So normal summoning this equips one of those Dragunity tuners onto it. So it is very important for the combo, but it's not like a play starter or anything, so you only want to run one. Double copies of Dragunity Legatus. This is a really good extender. If you control a Dragunity monster or Dragon's Ravine, you can special summon it. Then if you have a Dragunity equipped to any of your monsters, you can pop a spell or trap. So it's pretty decent back row removal, and it's just a really great extender overall. It is a hard once per turn though, since it's a newer card. So I feel like you only need two, one for your initial combo and then the second for the follow-up. I don't really see a reason in playing a third, because again, it is kind of a more, kind of like Mistletoe, it is a more specific interaction, so it's not like having this in hand always ensures you have full combo or something like that. But you know, drawing it's nice to have a follow-up. Two of just seems right to me. For the generic dragon lineup, we're playing one Tempest, one Red MD, and one Destruction Sword. Destruction Sword locks your opponent out of summoning from the extra deck. That's one of our main end board pieces. Red MD is just a godlike extender. If you draw it, it extends way past your regular combo. Otherwise, you can just summon it off of your broke LP, as we like to call it. And Tempest is just a really good searcher for the deck. If you banish it, search any Wind Dragon. If it's in your hand, it's not as good, but you can make it work. So you definitely want to run this. Really solid lineup of generic dragons. For the generic winged beasts of the deck, I play one Zephyros the Elite, one Mist Valley Baby Rock, and one Garuda the Wind Spirit. I honestly haven't seen Garuda since GOAT format, so that's really crazy that I'm running it in 2021, but I have a good reason for all of these cards. So Zephyros is just one of the most godlike extenders in this entire deck, because you search it with Jadir, I think that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. But yeah, this can be searched off that, discarded, and then you can bounce anything back to your hand, which in an equipped deck, that's absolutely insane. And the deck that has a field spell that's not a hard once per turn. So just a really amazing extender. Mist Valley Baby Rock is how you make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon with just one Remus. You just discard it, special summon it, and then boom. And then Garuda is interesting. So he's okay to draw. He's not like the worst, but you need him for part of your combo because the Legatus is a hard once per turn. You need another level 4 winged beast to extend, and you know, you already used your normal summon by then, you use Legatus by then, the combo's super long, so having that searchable Garuda the Wind Spirit is absolutely insane. So I think this is definitely the lineup you need to go for when it comes to winged beasts. And for the last main deck monster, I was looking at limited cards because I had one extra spot in the deck after I finished playtesting and, you know, theory crafting, and I'm like, what would be a good limited card? So I put in Dino Wrestler Pankratops. It's just a really annoying card going second, baits out a ton of negates, and that opens up your Dragunities to play. Even if it isn't the most impactful card this format, it just gets the job done. So I like the one Pankratops. Onto the spells, the heart and soul of the deck, Dragon's Ravine. You want to play 3 copies of Ravine, and you want to play the Terraforming. I don't care if you say it's overkill to run this and the Remus. You have to see Ravine in your hand to play. And if your Ravine doesn't resolve, you need another Ravine. Like, you just want as many Ravines as humanly possible in your hand, and it's not a hard once per turn. That's why it's so crazy. So basically, you can discard a card to search a Dragunity monster that's level 4 or lower, or you can send a dragon from deck to grave. It's just such a freaking crazy card that searches out your entire deck or foolishes your entire deck. Again, not hard once per turn. Really crazy card. You want to maximize as many copies as possible. I even thought about playing set rotation, but there just isn't a good enough second field spell that I want to give to my opponent, especially since this deck lacks removal, so I can't really afford to give him a Mystic Mine. But yeah, you definitely want to see as many Ravines as possible. Then we're running 3 copies of Dragunity Glow. You only need 1 for the combo, but I feel like 3 is optimal because it searches for any extender, pretty much any high-level Dragunity, which are all extenders, for the specific situation, because Mistletoe isn't always going to be the answer. Sometimes you need Armogram, sometimes you need Leviathan, so being able to search for that specific card you need in that specific instance is way better than getting Nibiru and being like, well, Mistletoe's in my hand, I can't do anything. It also adds back from grave like Nadir Servant, so that's pretty neat. It helps in the grind game. And in the graveyard, it's a pseudo extender, being able to banish itself to special summon an equipped Dragunity monster. That's how you get your synchros back out on the field. But the main reason I run 3 is so if Romulus gets imperm dashed or whatever, my play isn't over if I hard drew this. And also because I want to search better cards with Romulus. Unfortunately, you do need to search this before anything, but if you hard drew it, you can go ahead and search for another card instead that would help you win the matchup. So I think 3 Glow is absolutely the way to play. We're also playing 1 Divine Lance. It's not that impactful, but it helps when you desperately need to correct your hand. It gets you any Dragunity tuner from your deck onto your Dragunity monster, but you can also use it to make it immune to traps. So something I like to do against Eldritch is to equip it to Armogram, gives it attack boost, it's immune to traps, and then Armogram keeps stealing all the Golden Lords. So then the only thing you have to worry about is the Golden Lord Send to Grave. So that's just some unique stuff that Divine Lance helps with, and I think it's worth running the 1 copy of. Then my personal favorite Dragunity card out of the new support. I can't even pronounce it though, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm not gonna attempt to. The Dragunity Counter Trap, you know what I'm talking about. This card's insane. Basically, if you control your high-level Dragunity synchro monster, this is going to act as a counter trap spell or trap negate. So this is a main deck way to prevent yourself from getting dark rulered, evenly matched, etc. because the deck has a ton of monster negates and has a lot of floodgates. It only has 1 Omni negate though, so being able to get a second Omni negate is absolutely essential, especially one that isn't a monster. So I think it's why this deck is so good right now is I feel like a lot of people are maining board breakers over hand traps, and the deck is definitely more vulnerable to hand traps than board breakers because of the fact that it has a searchable counter trap to deal with cards like Dark Ruler No More. So this is absolutely insane and definitely mandatory for this specific format. I do think there are formats where you can take this out or side it, but for now I think it's definitely it must stay in the main deck. It also boosts the attack of the synchro, by the way, so that's neat, I guess. Not really huge, but neat. For the generic spells, I play 1 Monster Reborn. It's insane in this deck because you can just get back your non-hard once per turn synchro monsters that do broken shit, so it is what it is. Really good card. Then we're playing 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents, 1 copy of Call By. I think this is an absolutely must play in this format, or just in general with this deck, honestly. So basically, the reasoning behind Talent is going first when you get hand trapped, you want to punish your opponent rather than negate it, because you can play through anything. Yes, if they hit a crucial point of your deck, then yeah, your end board's gonna look a little bit suboptimal, but you're still gonna get a couple interruptions out there. So to even the playing field, you look at their hand and then get rid of their starter so they can't even play, or get rid of that crucial board breaker because everyone's maining board breakers, but they still play Ash. So like, you get the opportunity to just rip the board breaker from their hand and have a nice day. Now most people will just like Ash the Remus or the Ravine because it's, you know, they're good cards, but they don't really think too hard about it because this isn't a really popular deck. But really good players are going to wait for your critical choke points of the deck, and then that's when you really need to shuffle something back into their hand and gain full hand knowledge. Going second, however, you can take control of an opponent's monster if they activate a monster effect. So this is amazing for getting over Shaddoll Schism. Being able to take control of like a Mechaba or something and swing over the Winda, absolutely cracked. Really annoying to deal with. And then also just being able to steal Dragoon and then burn them for game and then swing, you know, stuff like that. It's just a really good going second card. It's a really good going first card. I hardly ever use the draw 2. I only do that if my hand is literal dog water, but like for the most part, you have enough to play through hand traps. You just want to punish your opponent as much as possible. And then Call By just deals with those really broken hand traps right now, like Dimension Shifter that just auto lose you the game. So I felt like it was worth just playing the 1. I wish this card was kind of, I don't know if I wish this card was at 3. I'm honestly not sure. I wish it was gone or at 3. It feels so weird as a one of, but yeah, being able to out the D Shifter, stuff like that, and Droll, really important. For the last 3 cards of the deck, I decided to play Forbidden Chalice. This card's absolutely cracked. It's so good. Basically, there's a lot of things that want to jump out at you this format. A lot of annoying things like Rise of the Mega Monarch, Shaddoll Winda, other cards like Shirag. There's another one that I can't think of right now, but there's tons of cards that just jump out at you during your turn. That's why like Dark Ruler and stuff isn't always the best option. So I liked maining this because when those things jump out at you, you can't imperm them because you already committed monsters to the board by then. So just being able to like quickly respond with Chalice is great. And then even if they like held on to an Omni Negate, this is not once per turn, so you can just keep chaining them. It's really nice. And then going first, if you get interrupted, you don't have talents, you don't have called by, the next best thing is to set this and then have an interruption during their turn, just a monster negate. And then of course, you can be really smart with it as well. Like if there's a Baron de Fleur and the Sword Soul Synchro, you bait out one negate, then you go ahead and chain Chalice, and then they have to use the other negate, and then you just get rid of 2 for 1 right there. So you have to be really smart with this card, but it is super effective in this format, so I definitely recommend trying this card out. Otherwise, you could try Ruler, you could try Droplet. I just prefer this card. It's really nice. In the extra deck, we have a bunch of Dragunity Knights. We have Jadirg. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Someone corrected me on it, so I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this is one of the most broken cards in the extra deck. Being able to search a low-level winged beast or dragon monster and then add it to your hand, discard it. Crazy, and it's not even a hard once per turn, so you loop this over and over and over again. You also have Vadriana. Vadriana equips one from grave rather than like searching from deck, so this is just a way to correct your like field basically. So if you have Phalanx and not Koos, you can go into this to go into Phalanx and then Phalanx summon, and then you can go into a level 8 rather than needing the Koos, so that's really cool. And it's also just a decent extender overall. Then we have double Barcha. This is the most insane card in the extra deck because this is a non-hard once per turn soul charge for the deck. Literally soul charge. You equip as many Dragunities as you want, and then all those Dragunities can just special summon themselves out because of their effect. So that's really fucking crazy. And you want to play 2 because you can literally run 2 for 1 combo, and it's also just good to have a second one. If you only resolve 1, you need a second one later. Then we got the bosses. We have a Reed Bear. These names are so hard to pronounce. And 1 Ascalon. So this one's like you're going first boss monster, being a monster negate and banish by banishing one of your Dragunities in grave. And if it gets destroyed, you can destroy all their back row. That's kind of a hard way to remove back row, but like against Eldritch, if he has like 3500 attack, you can like crash, blow up the back row. Otherwise, his deck really lacks in back row removal, I'll admit that. But yeah, just a really good interruption. Plus, if you have him on the field, not only do you have the monster negate, if you have the counter trap, you have the spell and trap negate as well. And then Ascalon is just removal for the deck. Non once per turn, just banish a Dragunity in your graveyard to banish a card on the field. It's only monsters though, that's the only annoying part about it, but this deck again does lack in removal, just wants to set up a bunch of interruptions. So having that ability to just remove everything on the field as far as monsters goes is great. But it also is a little bit better than something like Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, because if it gets popped, you get to special summon a Synchro from your extra deck, and that counts as a Synchro summon, so you can bring it back and whatnot. Something that I really like doing that's super cheesy is using my Dragunity Glow, going second, then going into this card, and then when it gets popped, I summon back Barcha from the extra deck, and then Barcha equips the Ascalon, and then I use the Glow to bring back Ascalon and then keep banishing some more cards. So these are just your Dragunity Knights that you want to play. There's a bunch of other ones, but I just don't think they're quite as good as these. These are the core essentials. We also run 2 generic Synchro bosses. We play the 1 Borload Savage, just a really nice Omni Negate, very big monster. And then we have the 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is a monster negate that you can make really, really early before Nibiru, and that's really nice to have. But it's also great removal as well. Like if you baited a Dragoon Negate, then you can just go into this guy, and then he gains the attack of that monster and swings over it. So both really amazing cards to be running in your extra deck. We have 1 Fusion and 1 Xyz in the deck. We have Trishula. The Trishula Fusion can be contact fused, and if you use 3 dragons with different names, you get to banish a card in your deck, banish a card off the top of your opponent's deck, and 1 card in their extra deck. So you're going to banish Tempest with this and get a free search off of that, but also you're going to potentially mess up their combo by banishing the top card of the deck. But the best part is looking at your opponent's extra deck, so you get to know what they're playing before you establish an end board, and then you get to banish something that could be crucial to their extra deck. Imagine like if they have a limited extra deck card, like maybe Striker Dragon or something, I don't know, you could just banish that, get rid of it, get rid of Dragoon, get rid of Zeus, get rid of a ton of problematic cards and know what they're playing. Really valuable knowledge in game 1. And then you have the Hieratic Dragon King of the Tomb. This is broke LB. You need 2 level 6 dragons to make this monster, but this deck turbos out level 6 dragons, no problem. And then you detach a material, special summon a dragon from deck, but its attack becomes 0. So this is literally just Guard Dragon LB, just a little bit more difficult to make. For the links, we run Romulus. Yes, this is an actual Dragunity deck. We have to run Romulus. This searches out all of your Dragunity spells and your Dragons Ravine. Very, very nice for your combo and just really good in general. The 1 Hieratic Seals, it's a great interruption during your opponent's turn. Some of the dragons from deck, really great card to have. The 1 Buster Destruction Sword link that has a super long name sends your Buster Lock from deck to grave, so you can equip that later. So those are the link 2s. And then the link 1s, you just run the 1 Pisty and the 1 Striker Dragon, since obviously you don't have LP. So this is how you kind of create those 2 arrows. So like this, and then you can special summon one of your dragons from the graveyard. And finally, we have the side deck. So currently I am running 3 copies of Draw and Lock Bird. I feel like a lot of combo decks lose to this card, but it's a little bit too specific to main. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. This is to help ensure that I can actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! Going second. 3 copies of Lightning Storm, because fuck back row decks and fuck link spam decks. Just absolutely destroy them all. 3 copies of Evenly Match. I don't want to lose to those grindy control decks, and I want to bait out negates. And the Spice, 3 copies of Gravity Collapse. So basically, it's a really disgusting counter trap. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can chain Gravity Collapse, send one of your synchros to the graveyard. They can't respond to this unless they have a red reboot or like they set Solemn or something. And then they can't summon for the rest of the turn, and the monster they summon just gets destroyed. So I think that's a pretty good trade for sending 1 synchro to the grave, and this deck does nothing but turbo synchros. And the reason I run this is because I want to out to Dark Ruler that's more consistent than just the counter trap, because if I don't draw the glow or I don't draw the counter trap, I want to be drawing something else to deal with Dark Ruler. So this is an indirect way to deal with it. So they Dark Ruler me, who cares? I'm just going to Gravity Collapse their ass and then skip their turn, kill them the next turn. It's really nice to have. And I like it a lot more than anti-spell, because if they break my board anyway, like if they get Zeus out or something, then I wouldn't be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! If I had anti-spell. Well, okay, that's not true, because Zeus sends everything, but you get the point. If they break the board and they leave anti-spell in the field, then I can't like activate Ravine or something like that, so that would be really bad. So I think Gravity Collapse is way better for going first. Alrighty, it's combo time. All you need for this combo is 1 Remus, and 2 random discards. Can be literally any card. The only card that drawing messes up the combo, I think, is Tempest. If you draw anything else, the combo is full combo, and all again you need is just Remus. So just 1 Remus, 2 discards, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and activate Remus to search for a copy of Dragon's Ravine and add it to our hands. Now that we have Ravine, we can activate it to discard 1 card from our hands. We're going to search a copy of Dragunity Legatus. So let's find the Legatus. There he is. You're going to use the effect of Legatus to special summon him onto the field. Use the effect of Remus, special summon himself onto the field. Synchro summon these 2, Remus gets banished. And go into your Jadirg again. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then you're going to use his effect to search for Zephyros the Elites. And then from there, you're going to discard Zephyros the Elites. And the cool thing about Zephyros is he's going to bounce back your field spell later. So, well, he's going to bounce back your field spell right now, honestly. So we're going to use this effect and bounce this back. And that's why we need the second discard, because we're going to use Ravine again later in the turn. From here, you can link off these 2 into a Dragunity Knight Romulus. Romulus is going to activate his effect to search for a Dragunity Glow. If you already drew the Glow, you want to search the counter trap to prevent you from getting Dark Ruler No More. That's huge. So that's awesome if you drew the Glow, otherwise it's fine, just search Glow. Activate Glow to search for your Arma Mistletoe. So let's go ahead and search Mistletoe. There he is. And then we're going to use Mistletoe to send this to the grave. special summon it, and equip the level 6 Synchro. And then you're going to use Glow in the Grave to banish itself, special summon Jaydir, use Jaydir's effect, and what you're going to want to do here is load up your tuners. So whatever you can get first, Koos, Phalanx, doesn't matter, just get both of them into the graveyard. So we're going to search Koos, discard it, and then now that we have 2 level 6s, you're going to summon your Hieratic King of a Tomb. Yep. Very important that you have good zone placement. Make sure you have zones for Pisty, Striker Dragon, and a Link 2. So I like to keep my stuff to the right, except for the stuff that we need over on the left. So we're going to activate the effect of a Tomb, discarding specifically Jaydir. You don't want to discard the Mistletoe. Special summon the Red MD. Red MD can bring back this guy, and then he's going to activate his effect. You're going to fill up the grave again. Get yourself Phalanx, whatever the other tuner you don't have in grave is. If you do have both tuners already at this point, like if you hard drew one of these and you discarded them, which I highly recommend discarding the tuners for Ravine, you can actually search Baby Rock right here and make a Crystal Wing super early, which is really nice. But I'm just going to search Phalanx for the sake of the combo and discard it. And from here, we can link off these two. Just make sure this is somehow in the grave. Link these two off into your link to the Destruction Sword link. And then that's going to activate its effects to send your Destruction Sword from your main deck to your graveyard. So let's go ahead and find that. There it is. Send it to the grave. And now we can use our Ravine and discard our second card and search for our ducks. So where's Dragunity Ducks? There he is. So now we're going to normal summon ducks. I like doing it in the middle zone, doesn't really matter. And then you're going to equip specifically Dragunity Koos. You can't do this with the other one, Phalanx. You have to do Koos. And then you're going to special summon him, synchro summon these two into a Dragunity Knight Barcha. So let's go into Barcha. Barcha is going to activate his effect and equip 2 Dragunity tuners. So we're going to equip Koos, we're going to equip Phalanx, and you're going to want to equip one more Dragunity name for Leviathan later. So I'm going to equip, I can English, I'm going to equip Romulus. And then I'm going to special summon these two with their effects and link them off into their respective links. So let's go into Pisty and then link this one off into Striker Dragon. And then use the effect of Pisty to special summon the Jaydir from the grave. And instead of using his effect right away, instead we're going to banish these 3 to contact fuse into the Trishula Dragon of Icy Imprisonment. And then what he's going to do is he's going to banish top card of your opponent's deck, banish 1 card from their extra deck, you get to see their whole extra deck, and then you get to banish your Tempest. I almost said Dragunity Tempest. He's not a Dragunity card. I'm going to banish him, and then that's going to trigger Tempest's effect to search for a new Wind Dragon. So I'm going to search for Leviathan. Now that we have a discard fodder, we can activate Jaydir to search for your dude, Garuda, the Wind Spirit. Discard the Leviathan. If you already drew Leviathan, by the way, just search the Armogram. And then you can link these 2 off to make sure Mistletoe's in grave. It's actually really important. Into your one of your first interruptions, Hieratic Seal the Heavenly Spheres. And then you're going to special summon the Garuda by banishing one of your wind monsters. I always just go for ducks because you're kind of done with them once he's in the grave. So I'm going to special summon him. And then I'm going to banish the Barcha. Almost forgot the name. Special summon the Leviathan. And then Leviathan is going to equip the Koos. You're going to special summon the Koos, and then you're going to synchro summon these 2 into your second copy of Barcha. Barcha is going to activate its effects and special summon the Koos. You don't want to equip the Romulus at all, because you need him for Borreload Savage. You're going to equip the Mistletoe and the Phalanx. From here, you can start comboing off. You can special summon Phalanx to synchro off the Jaydir into a Borreload Savage Dragon. So we'll do that. Use Savage Dragon's effect to equip Romulus, get 2 Boral counters. Very nice. And then you're going to special summon the Koos and synchro him off with the Leviathan to go into your big Dragunity guy whose name is just not pronounceable. Then you're going to special summon Leviathan because, yep, not once per turn. Special summon this. And you're going to equip, instead of a Koos, you're going to equip actually the Buster Whelp thing. So yeah, from here you got a Monster Negate and Banish, a Bounce Back to the hand, an Omni Negate, and the Buster Lock. Now this board does die super hard to Dark Ruler. There's a dumb ruling that if you get Dark Rulered, you will drop the Buster Lock, but that's why we run 3 Glow, so we can search that counter trap. So typically this board actually looks like this, because I draw Glow a lot, since it's that you're playing 3 copies of it, and then you're playing this, which is technically a 4th copy. So you're going to have this a lot, and this is going to protect you from that Dark Ruler no more, and then the rest is just enough to just beat your opponent outright. So very solid board, just with 1 card and a couple of discards. This next combo is another full combo and a 2-card combo. So this combo requires Thanatus and either Koos or Phalanx. So this is basically how you combo without Dragon's Ravine. So you're going to normal summon the Thanatus, and you're going to use its effect to discard the Koos. That will equip the Phalanx, and then Phalanx will activate its effect to special summon, and then boom, you got your level 6 Synchro again. Got Jadir, and then you're going to activate its effect to, and I think I actually have a card from the main deck in here, whoops. You're going to use its effect to search for a Mist Valley Baby Rock instead of the Zephyros. So let's find Baby Rock, there he is. You're going to discard him, and that'll trigger his effect to special summon from the graveyard. So you'll special summon him after discarding, and then you'll link these 2 into your copy of Romulus. So Romulus is going to activate its effect to search for Glow. Again, if you drew Glow, search for the counter trap to prevent yourself from getting Dark Rulered or Even Lead. So let's get a Glow. We're going to activate said Glow, search for Mistletoe. Mistletoe, where are you? There you are. From here, you can use Mistletoe to send this to the grave. Special summon. Equip this. Use Glow. And special summon this. Use its effect. And from here, you're going to send Zephyros, actually. So let's go ahead and find Zephyros. Discard Zephyros. And this is where things get spicy. You're going to Xyz into the Atum again. But instead of discarding the Jadir and going for Red MD, you're going to discard the Mistletoe, and then you're going to special summon the Leviathan. So we're special summoning the Leviathan, and then that's going to equip the Mistletoe. You're going to use the effect of Zephyros to bounce this back to your hand, special summon it. Then you can use the Mistletoe that you added back to your hand to send this to grave, special summon, and then equip the Koos from your graveyard. Now you can special summon Koos, you can synchro, well, you want to link these 2 first. Link these into your Buster Whelp. Buster Whelp's going to use its effect to send the other one to the graveyard. And now you can synchro summon these 2 into your Dragunity Knight Barcha. Barcha is going to activate his effect, equip this, equip that, and equip the Mistletoe. Special summon these 2, link them off, go into Striker Dragon, go into Pisty, and then you're going to use Pisty's effect now to special summon Jadir. You're going to use these 3 to contact Fuse. Whoops. Contact Fuse into the Trishula Fusion. Trishula is going to banish Tempest as normal. But since we already have Leviathan, what's going to be different is we're banishing the Tempest to search for Armogram, which is just an additional extender and a boss monster for later. Then you're going to use Jadirg, of course, and then you can search your Legatus or the Garuda, doesn't matter which one, and then discard the Armogram. And a special summon Garuda. I'm just going to banish the Baby Rock. And then you're going to banish this to summon the Leviathan. And this should look familiar now. It's basically the same game state we made with the Remus. So we equip Koos. And then you can use Koos, Synchro, into your Barcha. And then Barcha effect. Equip the same things. Bam, Wabam, and Baba Booey. Special summon this. Synchro these two off into Overload Savage. Make your Romulus. And boom, synchro these two off into your Rebear, whatever it's called. Banish this. Equip the Buster Lock. And then activate Armogram in the graveyard to banish 2 Winged Beasts. I like to banish the non-Dragunity ones if possible. Just because you need Dragunities in grave for your big boss monster to banish, and you might want them for the following turn. So special summon this, and then link this in the Trishula into the Herratic Seals. And there you go, that is full combo without Ravine, just Senatus and one of the Dragunity tuners. For this next combo, what if our hand was really, really bad? So we only had Senatus and something to discard that wasn't one of our tuners. So I'm just going to use a second Senatus. So this is how you combo with this. It's a much smaller end board, but it's still a couple interruptions. So you'll normal summon the Senatus, discard the Senatus, and you're going to do like the similar line of play as last time. You're just going to equip the Phalanx. You're going to special summon Phalanx, and then you're going to synchro into your Jadirg. And then you're going to search for the Baby Rock. Discard the Baby Rock. Special summon the Baby Rock. And then you can link these two into Romulus. Romulus is going to search for your Dragunity Glow. Counter trap if you drew the Glow. But probably not because this hand's supposed to be bad. Activate Glow to search for the Mistletoe. Send the Romulus to the grave. Special summon. And then use its effect to equip the Jadirg. Banish the Glow. Special summon it. Use its effect to send Blackwing Zephyros the Elite to the grave. So let's search that. It's not here. It's probably at the bottom. There it is. Search, discard. And then go into Attune. Same thing as last time. Discard the Mistletoe. Special the Leviathan. And use Leviathan to equip the Mistletoe Zephyros effect. Bounce this to the hand, special summon Zephyros, and then send this to the graveyard with Mistletoe to equip your Phalanx. And this is where things get a little bit different. So you're going to special summon the Phalanx, and you're going to link these two off into Herratic Seals rather than the Buster Lock thing. And that's because we just don't have both tuners, so we aren't going into Barcha. Instead, we're going to synchro these two to go into Vadriana. And then we're going to... Oh, this is supposed to be engraved. Doy. Vadriana to equip the Phalanx. And then Phalanx is going to use its effect to special summon. And then we can go into our Borreload Savage Dragon. And Savage Dragon can equip our Romulus. So this is our end board with a really, really bad hand. So it's just Savage Dragon and Seals, but honestly, that's what Dragon Link does anyway. For the final combo of this video, this is the Nibiru proof combo. So you need an absolutely cracked hand to do this. You need access to Ramus, a Dragunity tuner, and some kind of backup normal summon. So I'm just going to use Senatus, Phalanx, Ramus, and then any random card to discard basically. So I'll just throw in a Chalice, sure. So this is an absolutely cracked hand, but this is what you got to do. So from here, you're going to activate the Ramus, and then that'll search for your copy of Dragon's Ravine. You're going to activate Ravine, and then use its effect to discard the Chalice or whatever your extra card is. Don't discard the Phalanx unless you have another Dragunity discard with Senatus. And then you're gonna you're gonna search the Legatus, and then Legatus is going to special summon himself out onto the field, and that'll use Ramus's effect to special summon himself. And then you're gonna synchro summon into your level 6 broken level 6 Loopy Boy. And you're going to use his effect to search for the Mist Valley Baby Rock. So I believe it was somewhere up here, was it? No. There he is. So we'll search Baby Rock, add it to our hand, discard him, special summon him. And instead of going like your full combo, just going ape shit, instead you're going to be smarter. You're going to go into your Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon before the Nibiru can touch you. So now you're completely safe from Nibiru. You're safe from one hand trap. The only thing you have to worry about is if a good player will hold on to a Nibiru and a Veiler or an Imperm, and then they'll just, you know, negate whatever negates the Nibiru. It's very common. But from here, you're completely safe. You're going to normal summon the Senatus, and you're going to use this effect to discard the Phalanx and equip the Koos. And from here, you just do, you know, your very typical play. So special summon your Koos. Go into Romulus this time, because we already have Jaedir in the grave. And then you're going to search Glow. Search the counter trap if you can, but search Glow first. Activate Glow. Get your Mistletoe. There he is. We're going to send this to the grave. Summon the Mistletoe, and then summon the Jaedir by equipping it and banishing it with Glow. And you're going to use his effect to get Zephyros into the grave again. Now we do the second line of play that I taught you guys. So just go into an Xyz, and you want this one to be in the left zone because you need to have space here for Zephyros. So summon this like in the middle zone is what I would do. And then detach this, special summon the Leviathan. I think it's at the bottom of the deck, honestly. Yeah, it is. Special summon the Leviathan, equip the Mistletoe, use the effect of Zephyros, bounce this back to hand, special summon it. And then from here, use this, summon this, and then equip the Koos. So there's Koos. Special summon the Koos onto the field. Then you can link these two off into your Link 2. Send the Buster Lock to the grave. And then from here, you go into Barcha. Then Barcha effect to equip the Mistletoe, the Koos, and the Phalanx. And you're going to do your typical Dragunity shenanigans. Special summon those two, link them into Striker, link them into Pisty, and then use Pisty to bring back the Jaedir. And then go into the boy. Trishula. Trishula effect. Banish some cards. Banish your own cards. Have a great time. Banish Tempest. Tempest effect. Search for Armogram because we already have access to Leviathan. And then we are just big chilling from here, honestly. We're gonna use the effect of Jaedirg. Search the. We already use Legatus, so we have to go for Garuda. Discard this. Use Garuda. Use Garuda to banish the Senatus or the Baby Rock or whatever. Special summon itself. And then banish the Barcha or the Leviathan. And then get your Koos. Special Koos. Link. You don't want to link these off yet. So, synchro into this. Go into Barcha. And do the same thing again. Like, literally, this entire deck is just looping Barcha over and over again. It's great. We only have one zone to work with, but that's honestly all we need. I'll special summon Koos to synchro these into your big Dragunity Knights. And then use this. And then synchro into your Borreload Savage Dragon. Equip your Romulus. Oh, I forgot. These aren't supposed to be in the grave. These are supposed to be banished, my bad. And then activate Armogram, banish Zephyros, Garuda, special summon. Link these two off into your Heraldic Seals. And then go ahead and banish your Barcha to get your Buster Lockout. And I believe those are all of the core essential combos you need to know to play the deck. Knowing these 4 combos and memorizing them is a great way to start learning the deck because it is a lot to take in, to be honest. But if you have these 4 core essential combos down, you should be fine to be able to just kind of recognize what the cards do and get yourself out of a pinch in weird situations where a critical point in your deck gets hand trapped, or maybe they summoned a monster onto your side of the field, blocking out one of your zones. These are just the 4 combos that you need to know to be able to kind of understand everything else about the deck. Honestly, overall, the deck is really amazing, especially since people are opting more for gas and board breakers over hand traps. I think it's great, this format. Tier 2 contender. Just really fun overall. Really unique take on dragons as compared to, you know, kind of the more boring Dragon League strategy. So let me guys know what you think of this profile in the comments below. Again, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.